Hello and welcome to the Viva Vegan Minisode with me, Rachel.
And me, Faye.
Today we've got a special feature because earlier I spoke to the wonderful Heather Mills, owner of VBites. She's also an entrepreneur, a model and an activist. Let's go to the interview. Hi Heather, thank you so much for joining us on the Viva Vegan podcast. It's great to have you here today.
Thanks for having me.
So first of all, huge congratulations to you because I hear that you won Woman of the Year at the Women's Vegan Summit in LA. Is that
yes,
right?
that was a surprise. It was quite funny because I didn't expect to. So I left after we'd finished serving all the food and was trying to quickly go to another meeting. And I got in the car that my friend picked me up in and we drove around. And then Karen Ridges called up and said, "You've won the award, you've got to come back." And I was like, "What?" So I jumped out the car and then asked my friend to go round again and then, accepted it with gratitude and then ran back out and jumped in the car again. So it was a surprise.
Yeah. Well, I've seen
especially in America because I thought there's lots of people doing great work in America. So yeah, it was a big surprise.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. I've seen lots of footage from the summit and it looked really fun. So yeah, was it a good time when you were there as well?
It was good. They're really behind on products compared to what we innovate over in the UK. So we were talking to them about getting better products out there. We've created this new vegetable cheese that we're finalising. One's carrot, one's sweet potato, just to use waste. It sounds terrible, really, but if you imagine all the big fast food chains, they just chop off the ends of tomatoes and peel sweet potatoes and just chuck it all away. So we've been collecting that and obviously putting it through, a heat treatment system and into creating a vegetable starch blend that creates really great cheese.
Oh,
so
cool.
It's minimizing the impact on the environment as well, because obviously rotting waste is not great. Millions of pounds gets wasted, and these big companies spend millions of pounds getting companies to take them away and put them into refill and things like that. So a lot of innovation's been going on that we've been doing over the years, and it's been a hell of a roller coaster with VBites, because obviously I've had it for decades now and I've never took a penny from it. I always just keep trying to help it and save it, but we've just had so much bad luck. So we just want to ask all of the people who are flexitarians or care about the animals to order direct from family businesses, because what I'm doing at the moment is help and support probably 60 family businesses that are vegan that are really struggling, because what's happening at the moment, they get into the supermarkets, they raise awareness, and then the supermarkets just kick them out and then private label it as soon as they can work out what it is, and then that company goes bankrupt. So it's down to the consumer to order online from family businesses like the alternative store. I've just been working with them to add in more sort of products from everybody that's working in this sector. So people need to get off Amazon and, and literally start thinking, get away from convenience. And I thought if we only sell from VBites, people might not go to just one website because they don't want to go to multiple. So I thought, let's just grow the alternative store where you can get everything vegan and wonderful from there, and try and encourage people to order online direct from there, like the Viva shop as well. Anywhere where you can order like that, you're supporting the animals, the planet and family businesses. And the madness that's going on in the UK at the moment is where my factories are in the northeast. That was the biggest region that supported Brexit, which became an absolute disaster. Yet they're all buying Viva, which is being shipped in from Europe, when we're just down the road from them. So we need people to actually look at where their products are coming from, even if they're vegan, buy from the family businesses first, because Violife's owned by a massive corporate. So that's basically what I've been doing is helping lots of companies. One of the innovations and companies we've been working with is this one, Sinless Eggs, which are fried eggs, boiled eggs and poached eggs.
Oh, wow.
So you take the boiled egg and you put it in hot water for 10 minutes and it is exactly like a boiled egg.
Wow.
And then we did
That's
a
wild.
poached egg. It is wild. A poached
Yeah.
egg, pumpkin powder, rice flour, really, really great. And you boil it, and then you pop the middle, and all the
Oh,
pretend
wow.
yolk, which is pumpkin powder, comes out.
That's
And
so
then if you
cool.
go on Sinless Egg, you'll see the fried egg. So we've been putting that out there to try and get it into sandwiches,
Yeah.
and to try and get the meat and dairy industry to at least try to cut down, because luckily they're under a lot of pressure now that they've got to, you know, be looking at what they're putting out to the public. And so we're pushing healthy and sustainable. And
Yeah.
then other things we're doing, I went on the Orient Express, to my joy, ever wanting to go on there since I was a kid. My partner took me on there for my birthday, and I managed to convince them to take a vegan truffle cheese. So this is the
Nice.
new vegan truffle cheese. And then we've done a blue cheese
Love that.
and garlic and herb and a black pepper.
Nice.
So lots of innovation going on. And then we've been helping a few companies. So we've been doing these are going really well, the vegan Yorkshire puddings, because people
Yeah.
find it really hard to make vegan Yorkshire puddings. So what I want to say to anybody who's looking to go into manufacturing, it is really, really hard. But what we're trying to do is manufacture the products and then test the market. So like, let's say, put them on the alternative store, see what the feedback's like before
Yeah.
you mortgage your house, like to the hilt to do your business, and then it doesn't work. And we thought we need to sort of take control of the whole sector to get it to work, because lots of people have jumped in the vegan sector
Yeah.
and it's all compartmentalized. There's not a community, especially in America.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get it all under one umbrella. And Viva, I remember when I wanted the plant-based valley of the world to be the UK and the Northeast, that was basically to help all these startups. And I think people are realizing how hard it is to run a business. So if they can get on with the brand, we can get on with the manufacturing for them, because we know how to make virtually anything. So we're just asking the public to support family businesses and order on the alternative store or VBites or any other vegan business rather than supermarkets and
Yeah.
Amazon.
Yeah. So you might have seen sort of in the media recently, we talk about all the time on the podcast, that fake meat brands are coming under scrutiny for sort of being ultra processed, for being unhealthy. And it's something that we talk about all the time, because we're not saying you should eat fake meat breakfast, lunch and dinner. We're saying, eat a whole food, plant-based diet, but every now and again, it's nice to have a burger, isn't it? As long as it's vegan, of course. But have you got any plans with VBites to introduce a range that might be sort of more health conscious?
Yeah, I mean, we've got what I call stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. And, we've tested this on hundreds of thousands of people over many years. And the reality is, if I take and make a film of how a pig becomes a pork sausage, and I show you how we make a vegan pork sausage, that's when you'll go, I will never eat a pork sausage again.
Yeah, so true.
And I will eat a vegan pork sausage because it's a million times more healthier. Obviously, some brands are healthier than others, but just don't be duped. It's the meat and dairy industry's very clever way of confusing you. And if you're someone that can live off quinoa and tofus and lentils and beans, which a lot of people can't because of oligosaccharides, of certain levels, then that is the ultimate best. And that's what I call, the idealistic diet. So if you're honestly telling yourself that you will never have fast food, then that is the best. But that's not the reality. You're going to grab an ice cream. So if you're going to grab it, make sure it's plant-based for all the reasons that it's a million times better for you, the animals and the planet, full stop. If you're going to grab a burger from McDonald's when you've got a hangover at 4 a.m, make sure it's a vegan burger. So that's really the reality, because the word processed is very much meat and dairy. It doesn't matter what excuses people say about, oh, well, my meat's organic, I know where it's getting it from, it's still got an IGF growth factor hormone, it's still horrific for you. So don't let the media, who know so little, dupe you. And to reset this messaging, that's why we're going to make a film showing a vegan pork sausage manufacturing and a pig pork sausage, because that's what you call processed. The word processed, it could be chopped up iceberg lettuce. You know, it could be mayonnaise, you know, with actual, what people call natural ingredients. So it's a lot of consumer duping. We've purposely, in the next generation of products, removed a lot of things that confuse the public, that they think, oh, I don't understand what that is.
Yeah.
But the supermarkets want, you know, everything at a zero margin. So you're just making things for fresh air. And then they want 100-year shelf life on it. Well, the only way to get extra shelf life is potassium sorbate or salt. And we, the British, basically buy something low salt and then sit on the table and add loads of salt to it. Whereas in Scandinavia, they'd rather have the extra salt in the product for the extension, and they don't add any salt. So, you know, it's like you take from here, you put here. You really need to sort of look and understand what you're consuming. So first of all, we need to change the messaging to the truth about what is processed and what is not. And second of all, you have to just be honest with yourself. What are your weaknesses? I don't eat meat-free, fish-free and dairy-free products every day, but I love my vegan gammon or turkey roast on a Sunday with loads of roast potatoes and vegetables, you know, and I'm perfectly fit and strong and, you know, and 56 years old. So if you look at somebody giving you the word processed, who generally is standing there looking very unhealthy and has endless medication and ailments, why would you believe those people? You know, really do your own research. So in answer to your question, long way around, we've got stage one, which is meat, fish and dairy free, will always need to be there to get people off McDonald's and Burger King. If McDonald's, Burger King and Kentucky Fried Chicken closed down because the public didn't want it, we wouldn't need to do meat, fish and dairy free replacements. But while they're open, it is the only way to get an addict, which is what it is, off the fast food onto something else. And we've tested this on hundreds of thousands of people. You know, my partner, when I met him on a train, wasn't vegan, and he just lived off crap. And he can't believe he loves Japanese and tofu and edamame. He just can't believe it, and his family can't believe it. So when you reduce and start wiping out meat and dairy, your taste buds change, your metabolism changes. So you can do that with your family and people around you by slowly weaning them off those addictive products and moving along. This is a range that comes out in September, October. It's called No Bloat. And the reason I've done this is because I had Lyme's disease. It comes in loads of different recipes. And the reason I did this was because I had Lyme's disease, and I couldn't eat solid food for about three years, and I just didn't know why. And then I found out I was intolerant to garlic and onion, but I didn't want to make it public because I thought the meat and dairy industry were going to go, oh, you know, that's vegan. But everyone puts garlic and onion in their food, and fructan I can't digest, and I can't digest beans. If you can, they're amazing for you, but galacto-oligosaccharides I can't digest. So I ended up making this range of food for people that are in pain, because a lot of people became vegan from 11 months of putrefied meat straight into veganuary, overdosed their body with fiber that they couldn't break down because they didn't have enough digestive enzymes and hydrochloric acid, and then went, oh, I actually feel gassy and bloated. Didn't give themselves enough time for the microbiome and everything to change, gave up on veganism by February and literally went back to the junk food. So I thought I'll create this range so it makes it easy for people who have weak digestive systems, which is what Lyme's disease did to me. But most people's digestive systems who eat meat and dairy are bad because of meat and dairy. So unless they find a way to get off it. So that's the stage 3. And the stage 2 in the middle is very much mycoprotein without garlic and onion, without, you know, all of the sorbitols, mannitols and galactosaccharides, which are basically for people that, you know, don't follow science. You just need to look up FODMAP and look at the fact that if you wipe the FODMAPs out, that can calm your tummy down. And so this is the elimination, then the reintroduction after the maintenance. So we've got all of the solutions. So keep an eye out on VBites the Alternative Store, Sinless Egg, any vegan family businesses, and you'll see that everything you miss initially, that you give up in the meat, fish or dairy area, we can help you find the replacements.
Lovely. All right, thanks, Heather. That's about all that we have time for today. So thank you so much for joining us on the Viva Vegan podcast. It's been great to chat to you.
Brilliant. And send my love to everyone at Viva.
Will do.
That was a great interview.
Thank you. Yeah, she was so lovely to talk to. And don't forget, you can find out more about VBites on our social channels, and we'll post links in the description below. So moving on now to talk about quite a serious news story. So it's come out in the press recently that if a bird flu epidemic spread the world, it would be considerably worse than COVID-19.
Yeah, absolutely. I think reading about the article is a mortality rate that could be as high as 50%. And it's actually really, really harrowing, because when you read the report, it talks about, it's not so much of a if this happens, it's more of a case of when this is going to happen. I mean, at the moment, COVID kind of mortality rates are around 0.6.
Yeah.
So just, I mean, we saw what that did to the country.
Yeah, I mean, it just crippled the NHS, didn't it, really? And it had such a huge impact on everybody's lives, and people lost loved ones. And, you know, it's very interesting in a way, because 3 in 4 of the world's emerging infectious diseases come from factory farming. That's just the facts. That's how it is. Yeah. So bird flu, obviously, it spreads from birds to other birds. And a lot of the time this is spread in factory farms, because there's so many hundreds, if not thousands of birds crammed into these tiny conditions. So it only takes one bird to get a bird flu, and they've all got it, essentially.
It's rife, isn't it? It's a breeding ground for this. And we saw it, it just spreads so quickly.
Yeah. So basically our message is, and it's something that we've talked about at Viva even before COVID, if you want to stop these infectious diseases spreading, you need to go vegan, you need to reduce the demand, because factory farming is going to kill the world, basically.
Absolutely. There's zoonotic diseases everywhere, and it's just going to get worse and worse.
Yeah.
So that's a really serious story.
Yeah.
Our next story is that the UK government is facing legal action over the boiling of lobsters and their treatment. So despite being recognised as sentient beings, this report has found that lobsters are still being tortured, basically. They're being boiled alive, they're not being cared for, and nothing's really been done despite the act coming in. Obviously, in 2015, regulations came into place that made it illegal to cause undue suffering, pain, anything like this to an animal that could feel. And this has been completely ignored, which happens a lot with fish and with lobsters and crustaceans.
With sea creatures in general, really.
Cephalopods. It's really sad. So it's good that there's going to be legal action taking place, because it's one thing to make these laws, but if they're not enforced, nothing's going to change.
100%. And boiling an animal alive, obviously that's going to be really painful for them and distressing. And I think, even though people eat pigs, if someone said I'm going to boil a pig alive, they'd be shocked. And God, imagine if someone said it about a puppy or something like that. Ooh. So you need to extend the same compassion to all animals and not boil them alive, not eat them, and to go vegan, basically.
Oh, yeah.
And sticking with UK politics, which is very topical at the moment with the general election that happened recently, our new Prime Minister, Kier Starmer, is reportedly vegetarian and has been for about 30 years. I think he's a bit of a flexitarian vegetarian. Is that right?
It is, yeah. His wife's vegetarian.
Yeah.
But I think Kier's a little bit more flexitarian.
With it. And, obviously he's not vegan, but I think it's definitely a step in the right direction to have the leader of our country advocating for eating less meat for, I think he cites his reasons as environment and health.
Yeah, he does.
But, also for the animals as well. And my advice would be, Kier, if you're listening to this, please go vegan. It will take the strain off the NHS. It's infinitely better for the climate, and obviously it's 1,000,000 times better for the animals.
And good luck sorting out the country. And finally, it is with a heavy heart that we are going to be saying goodbye to Rachel.
Yeah, I'm leaving.
She is going to be leaving Viva for completely new adventures. Yeah. Pastures greener, can we say that?
Pastures new, let's say.
New pastures. But I just wanted to say thank you so much for everything you've done, and it's going to be really sad to carry on without you, Rachel. Cue montage of crying. And so thank you so much for everything you've done. And yeah, we're going to be joined with a new co-host. Her name is Erin, and she's in the Viva campaigns team.
Yeah, she's fabulous. You'll love her.
She's got some tough shoes to fill.
And I just want to say thank you so much to everybody for tuning in and listening to me, for all the podcasts and the support and everything. And yeah, I've absolutely loved it. And yeah, I'll keep following Viva's work because I think Viva does amazing stuff, and I can't wait to see what you guys do next.
Thank you. And we do need those audience numbers, so please
Yeah.
do.
Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, get your mum to watch it, get your neighbour to watch it, share it, you know, sing from the rooftops.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Goodbye
you.
from me and Rachel.
For the last time, goodbye from me. Goodbye.